man's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Show! Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E. Two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. Sports Show.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Straub Bro Sports Show. As you see, only one camera, only one guy in. Yes, Big Bro is tapping in with you solo today. Let's get some comments rolling. First of all, shout out to my guy Ray. Shout out to my guy Joe Gaming too. Some of your comments are coming in at your screen name, so they were throwing me off. But I mean, welcome in. As I said before, little bro not with me today. He decided that he's going to have important work events pretty much every day this week. He tapped in with me on Tuesday. He tapped in with us on Tuesday. That was his only available day, which means, hey, it's all of us today. So let's get those comments on the screen and let's get to the show. First things first. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody tapping in with us as well. Hey, yes, absolutely. Happy Thursday. We are in today. Let's talk sports. Let's get to it. The first thing I want to talk about is the most important thing that happened all week for me, and that is your college football rankings, which means it's time for graphics. It's time for stolen graphics. Hey, don't tell nobody. Shh. But college football playoff rankings came out Tuesday, and we had some changes. What's going on? Everybody in the comments, like I said, make sure they're updating. Oh, yeah, we're good to go. Your college football playoff rankings came out Tuesday, and we had some changes. Not a lot, but a couple, and a couple that I want to discuss. First of all, Ohio State remains at number 1. Indiana at number 2. I don't have no beef there. Number 3, Texas A&M remains the same, but the number 4 spot changes, and that goes to your Georgia Bulldogs. I don't have a problem with that. Alabama loses, Georgia moves up. I don't have any beef there. Following all of that, though, I got some stuff I need to talk about. So the first thing is we're going to just really appreciate that little bro is not here today because there is nobody available to derail me from complaining about all of the teams that have come in at the bottom. Little bro is by himself. I wanted to pull up the rankings just because I wanted to take a look at something. So, as I said, 1, 2, and 3, unchanged. Number 4, Georgia moves up a spot. Texas Tech moves up 1. Ole Miss moves up 1 to 6. Oregon moves up 1 to 7. Oklahoma moves up 3 spaces after their win over Alabama up into 8. Notre Dame stays at number 9. Alabama falls 6 spots down to number 10. And then the other 2 teams that are involved in, because, hey, everybody has to play, is Miami, no problem there, and Tulane. I don't want to be the guy that comes in here every week without his brother, especially today, without my brother to tell me to shut up. I don't want to be the one that comes in here and complains about all of these small teams. I understand this is how it is now. The college football playoffs now, we have to have a route for – sorry about that. We have to have a route for everybody to get in. We have to have space for everybody. I don't want to see Tulane in this game. Tulane is going to get run off the field, even by Texas Tech. I know we've been talking about James Madison. I know we have talked about North Texas as well. This is a struggle because these teams just aren't good. We don't have the Boise State from last year. It's not that I don't like any of these teams. It's just that there isn't enough there for me on any of these teams' resume for me to look at any of these smaller schools and believe that they actually have a chance. It's hard for me to rock with that at any point right now. Sorry, I want to get things up and rolling up on the screen too. Make sure everything is good to go. But yeah, that's where my problem is. Now, Miami, somebody from the ACC has to be in. So that becomes one of the biggest issues there. Notre Dame, I know this is tough. I know I'm just going to sound like a homer. You cannot, and let me know in the comments if you agree with me here, because this is what my biggest beef is right now this week with the committee. Obviously, I'll pull down so you can see the Irish stuff. So obviously, that's my team. That's who I rock with. Here's my problem though. What's going on, Vaughn? Appreciate you for tapping in with me, brother. Here's my problem. Oklahoma goes out and beats Alabama. Beautiful. They deserve to rise in the rankings. We got jumped by Oregon. Oklahoma jumps us. Everybody else moves up, and that's including Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon. No love for the fact that Notre Dame beats a ranked team, the thing that we had been accused of not doing because we hadn't done it yet this year. So we go out and we take care of that, and it's almost like, too bad. So I do have beef there. Now, I don't know where to necessarily put them. I'm not saying necessarily that we're top 4, but I feel like if you're going to reflect in everybody going in and playing well and then beating a ranked team and you're going to reward them with a boost, I don't think it should. What the problem I'm having with Notre Dame right now is there's this large outside conversation happening about, well, they're not in a conference. Well, you gave us a chance to get in no matter what. Well, they don't play in a championship game. Well, you gave us a chance to get in no matter what. Now it's, well, do we really want to reward that? No, that's not right. We're handling business on the field. We beat up on a ranked Pitt team. I feel like we should have got a boost. I don't know. I'm the homer. I don't have the opposing viewpoint today. I get to run the show myself. So that's how I'm going to leave it. I feel like we should have been boosted. I'm not saying we should have just risen up and been number 1 in the country, but that would be my issue. Other than that, and you can let me know too, I don't really think there's a big problem here. I don't see a lot of issues with this. Like I said, Alabama was going to fall no matter what. Depending on where they fall, it's kind of dependent on how you feel. The thing is, we're high on this Oklahoma team. We know what this Oklahoma team can do. They have a Heisman candidate. As long as you have all of that, the committee's going to look at you differently when that's your loss. And now I'm hearing all of this, and I've heard a lot of it this week. Well, Miami has 2 losses. Notre Dame has 2 losses, but they have the head-to-head. Head-to-head matters until it doesn't. Head-to-head is great. But, for example, if Northwestern beats Michigan and Ohio State beats Michigan, does that mean Northwestern and Ohio State are on the same? No. So I get that Miami has a win over Notre Dame, but Miami also has some horrific performances. Even in my 2 losses, I lost by 1 point to Texas A&M, and we botched an extra point that probably would have tied it. And we lost by 3 to Miami. So I don't understand the disconnect there. But other than that, like I said, I don't have a problem with this. And I know the comments are up there, but I'm gonna put them up anyways. No, I know I'm not wrong. I feel a little boost, just a little smidgen. That's all. But it isn't just about those 12. It's about the rest of the top 25 as well. As we take a look at this week's brand new college football playoffs top 25. I'm gonna run through the list, and then we'll hit our big games, we'll hit our small games, and then we'll come back and we'll touch on this. But number 1 in the country, Ohio State. As we said, we ran through your playoff teams: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Georgia. All right now, first round buys. Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama, then Miami and Tulane. Those are your college football playoffs. But there's a whole lot of teams on the outside looking in. Speaking of which, the Holy War, BYU and Utah, boom, Pac-12 teams are both sitting in there at 11 and 12, hoping to just one of them are going to win out, take on Texas Tech, and somebody's going to lock in that spot. It's kind of the same thing as we go further down for some of the ACC teams. But those Big 12 teams right now, everybody's involved, even Cincinnati. So there's a chance there for every single one of these teams to have an opportunity to still get in. And that's BYU, that's Utah, that's, as we said, Cincinnati, that's Arizona State. There are teams in the Big 12, just the same as in with the ACC, where you have Miami, you have Georgia Tech, you have Virginia, you have Louisville on the way outside, still trying to look in. You have other teams there. It's not so lopsided as the SEC might be or the Big 10 might be this year. There's parity there, and it's wide open. So BYU at 11, Utah at 12, still prime opportunity to try to force their way back in. At this point, too, and this is a big conversation, especially if you're on the very outside of the SEC, or a little bit of the outside of the SEC, and then if you're in that Big 12 or the ACC, you're looking to force your way in. Forget what the committee thinks. Forget what the committee's looking at. I just go and take care of business, and I went out. That's what it is. Now, Morgan, I'm not going to lie to you, okay? You want the Notre Dame-Ohio State matchup. I'm going to keep it 100 with you because you know that's what I do, because you're my guy. When I saw this, and if you look here, and I know I was moving my mouse to it like you could see it, the winners of those outside games play the team directly in front of them. The winner of Oregon and Alabama plays Indiana. The winner of Ole Miss and Miami plays A&M. The winner of Texas Tech and Tulane plays Georgia. And yes, the winner of that Oklahoma-Notre Dame game right now would take on Ohio State. And I'm be honest with you, I love it. I'll take it. Give me a tough first-round matchup with Oklahoma to test you, make you play good defense and keep it in lock, and then give me Ohio State. I'm not gonna duck away. I'm not shying away. I think we're okay. I think we're good. I don't think we're Ohio State good right now. But listen, I bring it. Any given day, any given field. You never know what happens. So I'm here for that, Morgan. I just want to let you know. Let's roll through the rest of that top 25, though. As we said, we should be up in the 8th. See, there, I was waiting for my other Notre Dame homer. We should be up in the 8th spot. Oklahoma in 7, Oregon in at 9. I'm okay with that. I just feel like everybody kind of should have gradually bumped up one. I'm okay with Oklahoma jumping because that's a ranked win. But hey, we had one too. So I don't want to just sit here and make it the Straub Bro Sports Show Notre Dame show. I will, but that's my problem there. 11 and 12 we talked about in the Big 12. That's BYU and Utah. Miami is that player team. You already know. Big bets. 13, yeah, as we said, 13, we talked about Miami. We move into the SEC, 14, Vanderbilt holding strong there. They've got an up and down matchup this week. We'll talk about that here in a couple minutes. Followed in by number 15, USC, making a jump in the rankings as well. Georgia Tech holding strong at 16. Dropping 7, Texas. I don't even want to talk about them. I don't care. I don't care who they play. I'm not putting you on a board. I'm not putting you on a graphic. I'm done with Texas. Michigan and Virginia hold strong at their last week rankings at 18 and 19. For Michigan, at this point, the only real hope for Michigan is a Big Ten championship. I don't even know if that pathway really truthfully exists for them, but I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that's going to get them out of this. Virginia, the same way, went out, try to make it to the ACC championship game and go from there. I'm so glad on this one. Coming in at number 20, I'm so glad Lil Bro is not here. Tennessee goes up 3 spots after beating up on New Mexico State last week. I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. Appreciate you as always, Oos. Big love there. Tennis, this whole SEC thing, and it's going to continue this week. So we'll just get that out of the way. This is not going to be where all of a sudden the SEC has a tough schedule this week. But it's a whole lot of cupcakes there again. But yeah, Tennessee, big risers. But we'll see. Illinois, and then I should say 21 through 25, all newcomers to the top 25. And honestly, you're going to see a lot of that. Reason being, the committee, they'll tell you what they want. They'll tell you that they sit there for those 4 hours and they go through the whole top 25. No, that 4 hours, 3.5 hours is getting your top 10 to 12, your college football playoff teams. And then we kind of spend the last half hour kind of moving other teams around. And then when you get to 20 and you're kind of like, doesn't matter. There's going to be a lot of parity. There's going to be a lot of flip-flopping because none of these teams have really separated themselves to the point where there's enough of them to create a huge gap between the top 25 and the rest. But there's still some teams in here that I guess you should say have a chance. Obviously, Tulane being in there too, but let's run through them. 21, Illinois back in the top 25 with a 7-3 record. Missouri back in at number 22. Houston back in at number 23. Tulane, Green Wave, that's your outside college football playoff team right now. Your I should say your non-power 5. And then number 25, Arizona State. I do believe this is Arizona State's 3rd or 4th trip into the top 25. I mean, it's just the way that the Big 12 has just been eating itself alive this year, that I mean, basically one of these teams kind of loses, drops, somebody upsets, they jump in, and we just kind of rinse and repeat, minus Texas Tech and BYU, because even Utah has dipped this year. Obviously, Arizona State, Cincinnati has spent some time in the top 25. Arizona's been a player. There's been multiple teams in the Big 12 that have done this. So not a surprise to see Arizona State there, but I don't hold too much weight for it because a lot of these teams, we're going to see where it ends up. Arizona State loses. Any of these teams lose, we're just going to swap them out as where when you get higher up, obviously, there's a little bit more room for error for some of these teams where, you can kind of space it out. So that's your top 25. I'm going to run through the rest of our games in a minute, but everybody knows how we do this. It is time for your Straub's sneaky watchables. We've got 4 good ones I really, really want you to pay attention to this week. As I said, our big games are the big games because they're ranked matchups. We want to tune in and see those ranked teams play each other. They're not always the greatest games. These ones right here, we have nailed for multiple weeks this year. And we'll run through them now. We start at 3:30 on ESPN. Kentucky travels and takes on number 14, Vanderbilt. Kentucky, Vanderbilt? Ken, yes. Number 1, this Kentucky team has had some low-scoring performance or 2, but for the most part, this Kentucky team can put up some points. And they have played some of the bigger teams, not necessarily to the nail, and not necessarily in a nail-biter to the end, but they have made those other teams put up points and play their game. I really like that here. I don't necessarily think Vanderbilt's going to struggle, but Vanderbilt's going to have to put up 35 to 40 if this Kentucky offense comes out and does what this Kentucky offense can do. And that's why we want to keep an eye on this. Vanderbilt, not really the greatest opportunity right now to be able to try to get in, but still at this point, when you're at anywhere from 11 down to maybe like I say 14, 15, and there's still teams ahead of you that can stumble, you absolutely have to take care of business because that opportunity is still there for you. So that we'll keep an eye on that Kentucky Vanderbilt game. 3:45 over on ESPNU. Yes, it still exists. Number 24 Tulane takes on Temple. Plain and simple. Every week, it does not matter who, whichever one of these non-Power 5 conference teams is in, South Florida, Memphis, Tulane, James Madison, or whoever it is, once they get in, their game has to be watchable because it's a playoff game. None of these teams have room for error unless they all start losing, which I don't want to have to deal with that. But for me, and like I said, we had South Florida on here. We had Memphis on here. Tulane, this is a playoff game. You have to beat Temple. You have to take care of business, and then you won't have any issues. If you don't, you're out. Next man up. We'll see you later. Maybe next year. Maybe if those other teams recycle and reset and lose again, but you're kind of running out of weeks. So that's why that game's there. It's something to keep an eye on. You see the score on the bottom of the ticker and it's close, or maybe Temple's up. That's the one to flip over and watch. We move ahead, only 15 more minutes. So we went 3:30, 3:45. Let's move ahead to 4 o'clock on Fox. TCU takes on number 23 Houston. This TCU team is dangerous. This TCU team can play close. This Houston team has had some great performances, and they've had some really, really bad ones too. And at this point, any team that is ranked and any team that has a shot in the Big 12 is a game that you have to keep an eye on, because if this Houston game goes a certain way, it might help or hurt Cincinnati. It might help or hurt Arizona. It may help or hurt Texas Tech. It may help or hurt BYU or Utah. There's so many different scenarios playing out in the Big 12 that any of these kind of matchups that you kind of just want to keep an eye on. I got one on the bigger graphic we'll take a look at later, but this is a big one to keep an eye on. And then how much better, well, not for me, but how much better this game may have been if Pittsburgh could have at least maybe put up a decent performance against Notre Dame. It would have definitely been on the next graphic, and it may have been a little bit more hyped. But at 7 o'clock on ESPN, Pitt travels and takes on number 16 Georgia Tech. I will say this, though, and I understand I've been hard on this Pitt team and all of that. If Georgia Tech if they bring that NC State effort, Pitt's going to wash them. And I don't even mean this will be a close game. That Pitt team has a good defense. They've got a young quarterback who is not phased by the moment. Now, we forced him into some bad things. We also put him into a 14-0 deficit within 2 minutes of the game. That will kind of test any young quarterback, especially a kid who's 18 years old and 6 months ago was in high school. But this Pitt team has the talent. They have things. They're still a year or two away, but they have the tools that if Georgia Tech does not play well, we're going to look up at 7 o'clock on ESPN and going, oh, wait a minute. Maybe it is just Miami. So that is another one to keep an eye on there as well. Those are your watchables. Those are the games to keep an eye on. Let's talk about the big ones. And bro, you're not here, so I put you on the graphic. We'll start with that one actually at the we'll leave little bro for last. Actually, we'll start at noon. So in between all that 3:30, or I should say before we get to that 3:30 and that 3:45 and 4 o'clock matchups, we start right at noon with a big one in the SEC. It does not stop for Oklahoma. Number 22 Missouri travels to Norman to take on number 8 Oklahoma. I mean, one of the reasons we looked at this Oklahoma team, similar to the way we looked at the Texas team, this schedule is a gauntlet. I mean, any schedule in the SEC is a gauntlet. There is no easy schedule. I mean, truthfully, there's no easy schedule in college football. And I'm not, and we won't ever turn this podcast into the SEC is better than everybody else. Nobody else is the SEC, blah, 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 blah. However, with a team like Oklahoma that's already played Texas, they've already played Alabama, they've already had to play other ranked teams. I mean, at some point, you would say something has to give, but more than that, it's another notch on that belt. If Oklahoma, and I'm basing this off of somewhat what I've seen from the playoff committee, if Oklahoma was to go out and put out an outstanding effort and they were to just wipe the floor with Missouri, I mean, you're looking at an Oklahoma team that could possibly start to reach out and pull out Georgia or Alabama. Well, Alabama took themselves out. Well, Oklahoma took them out. But you have an opportunity for Oklahoma to reach out and kind of pull back Georgia from that bye, that coveted week off, that coveted bye, that automatic bid there that gets you that first round bye. You're looking at an Oklahoma team that would have a resume that would pretty much stand up to anybody who's in the country. I mean, the wins are impressive. Yes, the losses are bad, but the wins are impressive. And one of the things that I've tried to give an overall philosophy about, especially this year, the zero matters in that undefeated sense, but the losses don't take the toll on you that they used to. But why? But number one, when you open your playoffs to 12 teams, when you open it to 4 and then to 8 and now to 12, you're going to have to allow teams in. 12 teams aren't going undefeated every year. I mean, if you want to find 12 undefeated teams, that's fine, but that's going to be one ugly playoffs with not great football because you're not going to have the quality in that you had before. And with the parity, and in which the way that a lot of these teams, and I'll give a lot of these teams credit, including the big ones, as much of these teams have now started to schedule, Ohio State playing Texas, Notre Dame playing Georgia last year. We've got one upcoming with Alabama. The way these teams have been scheduling the bigger teams, so we have these big games at the very beginning of the year or sprinkled in throughout. And that's aside from our ranked matchups within the own conferences. you're going to pick up a loss or two. That happens. We talked about it every year. Every single year before this playoff started, every single person could come up with a story from a year where, man, but my team, hold on, dude. No. But we were undefeated and we never got the chance, or we only had one loss and that one loss was the team that won it all. How come we should have been the team to rematch them in the championship? Everybody's got that story. What the committee has done is said, okay, we'll continue to write it. 1 doesn't just cost you. 2 doesn't cost you. You still got a chance. But why do they have a chance? Well, if you ever go back, do it for me. Go back to those BCS years. Go back to the early years of the playoffs. Go back and look at those final rankings. You're going to see what you see now. You're going to see teams with 2 losses and 3 losses. The difference was then you didn't care. You didn't care who was past 1 or 2 because all I knew was 1 and 2 were going to play each other. 3 and 4 maybe had a chance. After that, no, it didn't matter. Sugar Bowl, Tostitos Bowl, Champs Mayo Bowl, whatever, Popcorn Bowl, Pop-Tart Bowl, whatever it is, the Nike Bowl, the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids Bowl, whatever it might be. We didn't care about those teams. Now that you have this ranking, now that I need 12, I care more. So that's where, yes, I understand picking up a loss here is not great, but at the same time, if I've got outstanding wins, I can have 1 or 2 of those losses. So we'll see what happens there. Mama's in the house. What's going on, Mom? Love you, Mom. Riding solo. A huge win possibly for Oklahoma. It would cement them almost certainly into the playoffs, damn near. And for Missouri, an opportunity to do what you have yet to be able to do, which is be in the SEC, have one of these top-tier SEC opponents thrown at you, and you able to actually get it done and actually get a win out of this. It would be huge for Missouri. It would vault them up in the rankings. It would put them right up there with Vanderbilt, just on the outside looking in. But something will give here, and we'll kind of figure out, hey, is Oklahoma for real, or Alabama, Georgia, mostly Georgia. This is the SEC. This is what they do. We move over to 3:30 on CBS, a game that'll conflict in with some of your watchables. But if you're a madman like me who doesn't watch one game at a time and it has to be multiple, I'll have this on one of the screens as well. Over on CBS, number 15 USC travels to Eugene to take on number 7 Oregon, one of our traditional Pac-12 rivalries that's now in the Big Ten. This is a good one. And Oregon is apps, and I'm pretty sure the little bro would believe me here and be tapped in with me here, vibing with me here. Oregon is 100% on upset alert. 100%. This USC team has a more than decent offense. The defense is what the defense is. This is what some of these teams just are. But that offense can score. That offense can score in a hurry. And what I've seen out of Oregon has been one of the most unimpressive Oregon seasons that I can remember in a very long time. At the end of the day, if they make it into the college football playoffs, it's all noise. Because once they're in there, they've got every opportunity to get hot and roll through and make a Notre Dame run like last year, or whoever. Maybe win a game or two like Arizona State. Who knows? But I'm just not impressed. And the problem that has happened with them, whether it was the Penn State game, the struggle with Northwestern, or the struggle with Iowa, none of those teams really had the firepower to go, oh, I got a 7-point lead. I'm stretching this to 14. I got a 3-point lead. I'm stretching it to 10. Oh, I've got a 10-point lead. I'm stretching this to 17. Not a lot of those teams have that ability. They have struggles on offense. I think the Iowa game is perfect. Iowa had every opportunity multiple times in that game to stretch that out and take a lead and run with it. And they just couldn't do it because they didn't have that firepower. Excuse me. USC has every bit of firepower to test this Oregon team and make it so, no, this is old school Pac-12 football. You're going to have to put 40 up, maybe 45 in overtime. I don't know. But we're not going out on a 7-20, a 21-24 game. No, we're going to make you put up some points. So if Oregon for 1 second doesn't get out the gate, USC will turn this into the track meet that Oregon, I don't really believe this year, has the firepower to maintain. They can put up points, but they can put up points methodically a little bit more in terms of it's not every drive anymore. We used to see this Oregon team come on the offense and you would go, all right, they're going to score, so let's get ready. Now there's an opportunity for you to kind of make them stumble a bit and take advantage of that. We'll see if USC can do that. Oh, the poor kid. I wish he was here. 8 o'clock on Fox, number 11, BYU, travels to Nippert. He finally gets his night game, and he's not even here to talk about it. 8 o'clock under the lights, number 11, BYU at Cincinnati. Oh, I wish, actually, as much as I wish he was here, I'm kind of glad he's not, because what I'm about to say would probably hype him up and just derail the whole thing. But BYU is on upset alert as well. I got two teams in this game. I believe Oklahoma is going to handle business, but I believe Oregon and I believe BYU are on heavy upset alert right now. Why? It doesn't matter the team unless you are a 1-9 Boston College. Sorry, whether or not you're a beat up as they are right now, or I'm sorry, as they used to be Northwestern, or some of these other teams, Florida State last year and sometimes this year. Teams will stumble. Teams will lose big games. Teams will finally get ranked, get that matchup against another ranked team, and they'll lose. It's happened to poor little bro Cincinnati Bearcats twice this year. But what I know about college football and the amount of it that I watch, especially over the years that I've watched it, teams don't stumble and struggle the whole year. And not every big game. We've seen it from Florida this year. We've seen LSU rise to occasions. We've seen Florida State play some good games. You're not going to beat them up every game. And the thing that I do like about this Cincinnati team is they will beat you up. Now, does that mean they can necessarily hang with the Utah? Okay, no, they had to travel to Utah and they got them. They went toe-to-toe with Arizona. Arizona made some plays because they have a really good quarterback. They've got a veteran back there. He made the plays that mattered. Cincinnati has that veteran now in this matchup. BYU brings a young freshman quarterback who's got all the talent in the world, but he's a young kid. Cincinnati's at home. They get that night game. It's under the lights. I've been to Nippert. It's one of the, as much as I love to watch college football, I haven't been able to start going to as many stadiums as I want to check off that box, and I'm going to get there. But Nippert's been one of them. I've been there. It's a great atmosphere. I watched them take on a good team when I was there and win. It brings its own atmosphere. The band comes running right down the steps, right onto the field, right there on campus. It's a great vibe. It's a great atmosphere. I think this Cincinnati team knows our backs are against the wall. We do not have any opportunities as he taps in. Cincinnati doesn't have many opportunities left. So for me, when you have a team like that that's backed against the wall, knowing they don't have anything left but to win, they become one of the most dangerous teams in the country. I don't care who you put aside from them. And I definitely think Cincinnati has every opportunity to all of a sudden you look up in the third quarter and you go, Bearcats up 21-10 on BYU? Uh-oh. And yes, bro, I absolutely had to punish you by putting you up on the big board, number one. Number two, you got your night game and you're not even here to talk about it. We'll let you talk about it on Tuesday. I hope for you that it's a good review for you so you can talk about how amazing it was to have that game under the lights. I know you'll be watching, if not traveling down there to try to go there. But either way, yeah, those are your big games of the week. As I said, 22 Missouri at Oklahoma, number 8 Oklahoma, number 15 USC at number 7 Oregon, and then yes, the last one, number 11 BYU at number 27, maybe like number 33, wherever Cincinnati has fallen in that rankings. I know little bro will probably correct me here in a second and let me know exactly where they are. What we are going to do now, because I'm all by myself, we'll do a reset. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk baker. We're going to talk baked goods, but we're going to take a quick break and then we come back. Actually, there we go. Here's your need to force. We'll get our Bearcats insight, even though he's not on the show. Need to force BYU into making mistakes. Defense hasn't done it all year. No, but you can be physical, and this BYU team is not physical. And that's where I think Cincinnati has that opportunity. You go out there and you punch BYU in the mouth in the same way that you did earlier in the year when you had your big upset. I think that's the formula for Cincinnati. And like I said, I just don't believe Cincinnati is going to go into their third big game of the year and lose it again. Yes, you lost to Utah. Yes, you lost to Arizona. I just don't see that happening. I feel like this is the one where you get over that hump. Now, that doesn't mean next week or the week after something doesn't go bad, but I just believe I think this is your week, bro. Bro, you got this. You got this, bro. That's why you made it to the big board. Why are you on the big board? Because you're on the big board because I think you're going to get it done. But as I said, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, it's time for Big Bros, Big Bets. We're going to get ourselves back in the mix this week. And we're going to make a little bit. Ken Straub here for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, the official bakery of the Straub Bros Sports Show. And I'm also here with
Tella
and
Landon Straub.
And boys, do we have a lot to tell everyone about today. Schmoopy's is your go-to for all your bakery needs. Gluten and dairy-free options for muffins, cheesecakes, rolls, breads, cupcakes, cake pops, pies, cakes, you name it, it's there. And boys, what do we think?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Me too, boys. So, if you need anything, especially in this fall time, make sure you get in your orders for pies and pumpkin rolls and cinnamon rolls. Place your order now at
Smoopy's Sweets and Treats.
All right. Back in here on the Straub Bro Sports Show. Appreciate you, little bro, for tapping in. It would have been nice if you tapped in, but it's okay. I understand. You're doing important work things. But we got our college football rankings out of the way. What I did forget to touch on, and we're going to bring it back. It's nice when I get to reset by myself. I can remember what I'm doing. We got to reset real quick and run through the rest of your top 25 real quick. Ohio State takes on Rutgers this week. And then just a whole list of horrific games that like I said, I'm just so glad he's not here to criticize because they're awful and they don't even deserve our attention. Texas A&M takes on Samford. Georgia takes on Charlotte. I don't even know. Texas Tech and Ole Miss are off this week. We talked about Oregon and USC. We talked about Oklahoma. Notre Dame takes on Syracuse. Not going to give my Irish a lot of credit for there unless they just absolutely handle and take care of business. Alabama takes on Eastern Illinois. Utah. We talked about BYU. Utah takes on Kansas State. Miami versus Virginia Tech. It almost made the sneaky watchable. Why? Virginia Tech's not good this year. No, but they have signed on James Franklin as their coach. We talked about that on Tuesday. If you want to go back and give it a listen, we talked about it, how great of a hire this is, not just for the Virginia Tech, not just for James Franklin, but just the ACC as a whole, as for relevance, a coach that's going to put a team in the national spotlight immediately. Wonder if they get a little boost, little morale on campus. You never know. Maybe they can play Miami tough. Vanderbilt, Kentucky, we talked about. USC, we talked about. Georgia Tech and Pitt, we talked about. Texas, they play Arkansas. Cool. Don't even care that it's an SEC matchup. Not really my thing. I'm going to pull the comments down just so I can read my own graphic. Michigan, they take on Maryland. Same thing. Don't really care. Virginia is off this week. Tennessee and Florida. Shout out to at least Texas and Tennessee for playing other opponents within the SEC and not scheduling Sanford State and Charlotte A&M. But Tennessee takes on Florida. We'll see what Florida team we get. I would love to see the real Florida show up, this Florida team that has all the talent in the world and can do this. We'll see what happens there. Illinois takes on Wisconsin. Oh, bro. No Luke Fickell talk, but we'll see what effort we get out of Wisconsin. I think at this point, the problem for Wisconsin is, this year is chalk. Luke Fickell is sticking around and trying to build for next year. I don't have hope for these last remaining games, especially when we're starting to see who's transferring out, who am I going to keep around, things like that. So we'll see if Illinois can take care of business there. We talked about Missouri and Houston, Tulane as well. And then lastly, Arizona State, newly ranked in the top 25. They get to take on Coach Prime in Colorado. We will see which Colorado we get as well. It's kind of hit or miss with some of these teams. We don't know which effort we're going to get. So if we get a good Colorado effort, maybe it's a close game. If it's not a good Colorado effort, it will not be pretty. But That was the rest of your top 25. Now, come on now. It's time to get a little degenerate with me. It's time for Big Bros, Big Bets. And we start, as always, with our top 25 and Ken's chef specials. My chef specials, as always, are matchups in which neither team is ranked. We got to get a love. It cannot always be the ranked teams. Oklahoma, minus 7.5 right now over Missouri. We've got Oregon minus 9.5 in their matchup with USC. Vanderbilt minus 9.5 as well. Texas minus 8.5 over Arkansas. Tulane minus 7.5 in their first ranked matchup. Michigan minus 13.5. Houston, Utah, Georgia Tech. You see those top 25 teams. You can tap in with them. Our chef, Ken, I keep calling them my chef specials, but Ken's specials. Arkansas State minus 2.5 points over Louisiana. Florida State minus 5.5 against NC State. I don't know which effort we're going to get from either team, but that's why it's there. Something to pay attention to. I like this one to talk about. SMU minus 2.5 versus Louisville. This Louisville team, the funny part is, you know, when you prop Louisville up, sometimes they stumble. They're similar to South Carolina, but also at the same time, we saw what South Carolina did in that first half against Texas A&M. This Louisville team is now an underdog. Now they're being overlooked. You're not good. We're a fraud. We made you out. Be careful of the effort that you're going to possibly get here. Iowa State, welcome back to the betting segment. They are 3.5 point favorites right now. That line has actually dropped against Kansas. We always love us some UConn football, baby. So, you know, I had to give them some love as well. Minus 7.5 right now over Florida Atlantic. Troy, that's one of my favorite ones actually this week too. Scroll down a little bit. Troy minus 10.5 right now. The lines moved down a bit. So I like this one even better against Georgia State. I like what this Troy team can do. Penn State on the graphic as well, minus 8.5 against Nebraska. I mean, that's going to come down to personal preference. I liked Nebraska. Did not come through for us as much as we thought, but you know, you never know. North Texas, bro, you're getting some love there. Minus 18.5 against Rice. Cal and Stanford, the game is on this week. The game, minus 3.5 against Stanford, Cal. And then Fresno State, always get some love there. Minus 2.5 against Utah State. But that's not why we're here. We had a rough week last week, but that happens. We're locked in this week. I sat down. I did the work. I did the research. It's time for Big Bros, Big Bets, your locks of the week. What are they? Give me Oklahoma, minus 7.5 over Missouri. Yes, I think Oklahoma takes care of business. I don't think it's a problem. James Madison, minus 13.5 over Washington State. Bro, this is all you. This is all your love right here. You tell me, every week, not just how good this James Madison team is, but to watch out for them. They're right there. Prove it to me. I know Washington State can score. I know they've kept it close and upset a team this year. James Madison, go out and handle that business. UConn, minus 7.5 over Florida Atlantic. Come on now. Lock it in. Kentucky at Vanderbilt, the over of 52.5. I love it this week. Vandy can score. Kentucky can score. I know sometimes when these teams have both matched up with a better opponent, sometimes the scoring has gone down. I don't think we're going to do that this week. I think we're going to pick it back up. Duke at North Carolina, over 51.5 for the love of college football. Both of these teams should be able to score 25 points in a football game. Kentucky and Vanderbilt, I know it's the same thing, but both of these teams have done that multiple times this year. They've almost cleared the 50 themselves. Duke and North Carolina, play a quality football game. I believe in it. Give me that over 51.5. And I know what you're thinking. Ken, you threw Nebraska out. You just dogged them 2 seconds ago. Yeah, but listen, when the money's on the line, we use our heads. We don't use our hearts. Give me Nebraska plus 8.5 versus Penn State. Penn State, I don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. I know what Nebraska is doing. Whether or not I love it is irrelevant at this point. I like what they're doing. Give me Nebraska to keep it close. Maybe win by a field goal, lose by a field goal, but I love that plus 8.5. That puts us at, as I said Tuesday, but a reminder, 41-31 overall this year on our locks through 13 weeks, 10 games above 500. We're going to push that up. We're going to keep that moving for the rest of the year. Upsets wasn't completely updated Tuesday. We are now through 13 weeks of college football. Me on the Straub Bro Sports Show. I can't say we on this one because he doesn't participate in this part, but me, 27 upsets picked. One of these is going to hit this week. Throw $1 on each of them, or whatever it is that you rock with. Throw $100 on each of them. I don't know how you gamble. We gamble. You gamble. We all gamble differently. Okay. Get Florida in this up. Get Florida in that upset section. Hey, listen. I don't know, Sean. I'm not really super high on you, but we'll see what effort you bring. But we'll take a look at it. But right now, your upsets for me of the week, we've got Louisville locked in at plus 116. We've got Air Force. We always give love to our academies. Air Force plus 142. That Nebraska game we just talked about, if you believe in Nebraska, plus 265. San Jose State. Come on, guys. Come on. We've got San Jose State versus riveting television when I have to run through it and find it myself without the hand of my trusty guy over there. But hang with me. San Jose State, San Diego State. I don't have to mix them up this week because they play each other. San Jose State plus 350 right now. Michigan State are plus 640 right now. And you might be thinking to yourself, Ken, that is crazy. There is absolutely no chance right now that I should take anything to do with this Michigan State team. However, not so fast, my friend. All right, so they take on Iowa this week. Here's what I know. Okay, we are 13 weeks through the college football season. This is what I know to be fact. Michigan State can score. Michigan State plays good teams tough. Iowa cannot score, and they have to play you close to be in the game. That has all the makings for if at any point this Michigan State team can get that offense rolling, you're going to leave Iowa in the dust. Now, Ken, this game is going to be 17-13 and Iowa's going to win. I got you, but come on now. Listen to your guy here. I call these upsets out. Watch out for this Michigan State team. I really like that. And then lastly, I mean, we talked about it earlier. We call this in the business, a tease. We bringing it back, coming for a full circle on it. If you believe, which I kind of do, that Virginia Tech is going to get a bit of a boost, not necessarily, there's no recruits come in, nobody signed yet, but when you hire that coach and you get that guy, and you get a guy that is going to elevate your program, and that's something that I've not heard a single person who I trust to talk about college football say the words, I don't like this Virginia Tech hire of James Franklin. It brings a boost to the campus. Hey, we got James Franklin. Oh, yeah, next year. Yeah, next year. Well, the players hear that too. Next year. No. I want to go impress coach right now. I want coach to know I'm staying. I got 2 years left, or I got a year left. I want coach to know that I'm here for him, and we're going to build something here. So watch out for this Virginia Tech team to kind of get punchy with Miami plus 730. I mean, that's house money right there. You put a little something on that. I'm not saying throw it into your parlay, but I'll just throw a little single bet on that and just kind of keep your eye on that on the weekend. So that'll do it for Big Bros Big Bets. We are going to take another quick break. Let me reset again, and then we're going to talk NFL.
Today I want to talk to you about Ani's Army Foundation. Started by Mark and Lynn Meyer to honor their daughter Annika, Ani's Army Foundation was formed to raise money for the research of medulloblastoma tumors and other pediatric cancers, while making a positive impact on the community and helping those families in need. Here on the website, anisarmy.org, you can follow Ani's story, a story of strength and the love that her family has with her and she has with them as she fights this battle. Here on the website, if you can, please donate via Venmo, credit card, PayPal, cash, or check. Any donation is loved and any donation is appreciated. Thank you.
All right, we're back in here on the Straub Sports Show. Thank you for tapping in with us as always. Whether you are with us on our YouTube page, with us on Facebook, we appreciate all of it. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the shares. I've seen the boost myself up and down in with the viewership today when we get those low shares. I appreciate everybody for rocking in and everybody who stuck with us as well. So without further ado, let's talk some NFL. We talked about our college. We got our bets on the way. We've got NFL games to talk about, and we start tonight. As always, it's Thursday night, so that means we've always got a little bit of NFL sprinkled in with our college. I do want to mention one or two of those college games are on tonight, too. I'll double-check the schedule and get which one those are, but we've got some tonight as well. But NFL time. Thursday night, we've got Bills at Texans. I mean, this is – the Bills have been up and down. I've been very critical of them because everybody has just crowned them as the team in the AFC now that Kansas City has taken a step back. And they're not even right now, to me, the clear favorite in their division. I still really like this Patriots team. I like what Drake May has done this year. I like they've now started to unleash Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, from every single person around that team and in that locker room has said he's been nothing but a great leader and a great player. That's a dangerous team. But this Bills team has an opportunity solo here on Thursday night. And I know these Thursday night games are tough. And it's sloppy, tough football for one reason and one reason only. These guys just played on Sunday. There's not enough days for them to rest. So the Thursday night games are sloppy. But Buffalo has every opportunity here tonight to cement and stamp in and let us know, no. That Patriots thing died with Tom Brady. This is what we do. We are now the kings of this AFC division, AFC East division, and it's ours for the taking. So Buffalo has an opportunity for Houston. Stay afloat if you possibly can. But like I said, Buffalo should take care of business. Now let's get to your Sunday 1:00 slate. We start with the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Chicago Bears. As we said on Tuesday, Aaron Rodgers is hurt. Aaron Rodgers is out. So Mason Rudolph will lead that Steelers offense to take on a Bears defense that has three players in the NFL in the top of the NFL in touch or interceptions. Three players up there, one other guy for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So this Chicago Bears defense is not one to be played with. Mason Rudolph got a younger arm than Aaron Rodgers, but he don't have his vision. So he better make sure that he's been studying that playbook, or that Bears defense is going to tear apart that Steelers offense. And we're going to have to start talking about Chicago as a legitimate playoff contender, especially with the way that Caleb Williams has been throwing the ball. But a lot of that will get sorted out Sunday. Patriots travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. I mean, for the Patriots, play a little bit of defense and you're going to win this game. You don't play defense and all of a sudden you're going to look up and the Bengals are going to have 35 points, because that's just what Joe Flacco has been doing damn near week in and week out. I mean, because pretty much anybody could step in and play quarterback on that team, because that team is that loaded on offense minus the offensive line. But Patriots should handle business. Giants at Lions. Lions looking for a bounce back victory after dropping one to the Eagles. I don't think they're going to have a problem here. That dome is going to be loud. That dome is not easy to play in. New York doesn't have a great game plan. They're banged up, they're injured, and they're hurt. So not a lot of hope there. No Chase, though. Okay, so no Chase. I believe that's the suspension, correct? You can correct me, Ray. I believe that's the suspension from the spitting incident with Joey Porter Jr. But still, nonetheless, Patriots should take care of business. Lions should take care of business because Jackson Dart has nothing left. I appreciate you, big dog. So, yes, suspended there for Jamar Chase, out for a game. That one slipped through the cracks on me, but that's why my guy raised in the comments. Minnesota at Green Bay. My cousin left, so I'm not going to ride on Green Bay here, but I will just say this. Take care of business. You're at home. You're playing a Vikings team that has been so up and down, inconsistent in quarterback play and in defense. Go in and take care of business, because you're kind of chasing the Bears now. As much as we talked about this Green Bay team, in terms of who's playing great right now, the Bears are playing better than the Packers. I know what? Huh? Yes. Yes, the team with Caleb Williams is playing better than the team with Jordan Love right now. Green Bay, go in and take care of business, and we'll talk about you next week. Seahawks at Titans. Wow. Seahawks should take care of business, no problem. At some point, if you're the Titans, all we want to do is lock up that number 1 pick, go get us an offensive lineman, go get us a star wide receiver, maybe an absolute just game changer on defense. But that's what their focus is right now, not playing football. Colts at Chiefs. This is a good one. Colts have been playing well. The Chiefs have struggled. They're on the outside of the playoffs looking in. This has every making for us to be coming in the Tuesday show with me having to ask my brother to be the man. Are we sure that we beat the man? And are Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs back? Are they still in contention? Because I just don't truly, fully believe in this Colts team. Yes, Jonathan Taylor is an MVP. Yes, the defense is great, and they've made it even better. You still have Danny Dimes, and they have Patrick Mahomes. I know teams have, quote unquote, figured out the Chiefs, but I need to see it. Sorry. And then our last 1 o'clock matchup is just a bad one. The New York Jets travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. I mean, Ravens by how many? I don't care how up and down the Ravens have been. What I do know 100% for sure is I don't believe in this Jets team whatsoever, which probably means they'll win. But no, for me, no, thank you. We get to your Sunday at 4 o'clock game. Browns at Raiders. No. The one thing we do want to mention in this game, or I'm going to mention in this game, Shedeur Sanders. Yes, my guy Shedeur Sanders will get the start. I'm excited for that. He's got the week of prep. I'm not going to yell or scream about any of the stuff that I yelled at about on Tuesday because now there's no excuse. Shedeur's in with the first team. He's got all the reps, all the playbook, all the film, all the study, all the handoffs, all the snap, the snaps with his center. All of that's there for you this week, Shedeur. I have no more excuses left for you. I need you to go out and play. I need you to go out and ball. I need you to go out and do what you do. Give me what time is it? I need all of that this week. All right. Give me all this one. All right. Give me all of that. That's what I need from Shedeur this week. Okay. That's what I need because now I can't defend you anymore after this. Now, if he goes out and has an okay performance, the same okay ass performances I've seen out of Dylan Gabriel, I'm not going to listen to the hate being louder than it was for Dylan Gabriel. But listen, if he goes out and absolutely just shits the bed like he did last week, I'm not going to sit here and defend it. It's not me. I'm not going to do it. I want you to have every opportunity to succeed. But once you have every opportunity, it's on you to succeed. I know this Browns team's not great. I know it's not super talented, but this Oakland defense isn't good. This Oakland team is not great. All of their best players are over on the offensive side of the ball, the little one, a couple that they have. This is your opportunity, Shedeur. Go make a name for yourself. Go at least show the rest of the league, hey, I can play. Jacksonville at Arizona. I don't care. 2 mid teams that I just don't care about. But I got to care about this one. 4 o'clock on Fox. Eagles at Cowboys. I have been screaming for weeks that I don't think and shout out to Raver that the nod towards the Browns game there. Ashton Genty for 120 and 2 tutties. Your run defense is good. So I won't, but you never know. Philly at Dallas. I've complained for weeks about this Philly team. I said they are not good. They're mid. Somebody please beat them. Now it's my turn. Put up or shut up. Flat out. We went out week 1, had every opportunity to beat them with guys getting thrown out before the game, and we didn't take care of business in the end. This is your opportunity. This is the team you're chasing in the division. This is the team that everybody's trying to knock off right now. Here you go, Cowboys. Here you go, Dak. Don't blow this. Yeah, we'll talk about that Tuesday. Falcons travel to New Orleans in a little division matchup. Kirk Cousins and the Falcons travel to New Orleans. We'll see what Kirk Cousins we get. We'll see if he can still play quarterback. Sunday night football, we've got a good one. This is your game right here. Bucks at Rams. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers travel to take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Should be a nice high-scoring affair on Sunday night. A lot of fantasy movement, a lot of parlays going. This has everything made for it to go the right way. So we'll see if we can get a good one there, because Monday night, I'm not so sure. Carolina travels to, I almost said Candlestick. Oh, I'm old. Carolina travels to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, a healthy 49ers team with all of the pieces starting to fill back in on the offensive side of the ball. Here you go, Carolina. Drew asked the question on Tuesday. Is it time to start taking this Carolina team seriously? I said no. You win this game, we don't have a choice but to take you seriously. You lose this game, I can at least start to keep asking the questions. I don't have to just give it over to you. So we'll see what happens Monday night. I'm not hopeful for Carolina, but like I said, I'm willing to change my mind when I'm presented with more facts. And the fact is, you go out and win this game, I have no choice but to look at them in a different light. Yes, I'm allowed to call myself old, okay? I'm not ancient, all right? There's a difference. And then our teams on a bye this week. Denver Broncos, try to get that offense together. Los Angeles Chargers, figure out if you're freaking good or not. Washington Commanders, I don't like you. I don't want to talk about you because you're a terrible franchise. Miami, I don't know what you're doing either. You're so up and down. All of these teams need a bye week, and they definitely got one there. Whew. No commercial this time. I'll take the breath myself and relax. We got one more. We hit our college football. We've hit our NFL. And just because little bro is not here does not mean that I was going to let you slide on the footy. We've got some EPL this week. We are back. We've got some big games. I'm not even going to talk about the one in the middle because he doesn't even deserve it. I'm joking. We will start at the bottom, though, with a big matchup there towards the top of the table as Spurs travel to London to take on Arsenal. At this point, we've seen Arsenal slip up. We've seen them not be so invincible. We've seen them give up goals in that 2-2 draw to Sunderland the last time that the Premier League was back in action. This Spurs team, after a draw with me not too long ago as well, they're high flying. They can score. They get out on the front foot. They like to move the ball. The thing that will hurt them in this game is Arsenal will sit back. They will hold the block. They will play good defense, and they will not allow the game to be so open until they want it to open up. Spurs, they need a more open game. They need a free-flowing game. They need a couple of your guys to make an extra run, be out of place, lose the ball. They can take an advantage and get out, and they can run. Arsenal doesn't like to do that, which will make this matchup a little bit tougher for Spurs. So we'll see what happens. I truly believe Arsenal come out with a 2-1 victory or maybe even a 2-0 victory, but still a game plan to be had. We will talk about the game in the middle. Chelsea take on Burnley. Go handle business, bro. Like, let's just be real. This is one of your easy slide-ins back into the Premier Leagues after the international break. Go ahead and take care of business. You're looking for a 2-3 nothing Chelsea win there. And then lastly, the game of the week. Everton travel to Old Trafford to take on Manchester United. I mean, short, sweet, and simple. We had a nice run of victories. Then there was 2 draws. It mixed in between. 2 in a row. Nottingham Forest and Spurs. Now you go into this Everton game after the international break. This is where we start to look at the run of games before it, and it gets put in its proper perspective. If Everton comes into Old Trafford and takes 3 points or even takes a point, you look back at those couple of wins and then those 2 draws and you go, the wins were nice, but it definitely seems like we've flattened out and we've come back to earth. You go out, you handle business, and you take 3 points from an Everton team that has been mid-table and decent. But if you can play like this Manchester United team has showed they can play, and not just in small handfuls this year, in a large, sustainable amount, it has seemed, if they go out and can get 3 points, we look back at that and go, okay, those 2 draws were just maintaining because you're going to have to do that sometimes. And now we're back to form. So 3 points for me is the deciding factor. It's not always, it's tough to say they've got to win the game for me to be impressed in a game and in a league that allows ties, but I really need to see a top performance from this team for me to go, okay, I don't have questions. Because if they go out and they lose, or if it's an ugly draw, I'm going to continue to ask the questions, because it cannot just be to pump more money in. At some point, you've got to have and you've got to play with the guys that you got there. So we will take a look at that obviously on Tuesday when we do our review. Now, he was not going to allow me to get away and do some more footy. He leaves it to me by myself. But as we talked about, we are starting to narrow down our teams that have qualified for the World Cup here in America in 2026. Obviously, your automatic qualifiers, your host, the USA, Canada, and Mexico. However, as you see, that list is starting to expand and grow. We've pretty much got all of our spots narrowed down, 6 spots left, 4 via European playoff. Those teams there in Europe that have made the playoffs, they're going to go head to head. Winner comes out. And then 2 spots via intercontinental playoffs. What does that basically mean? Everybody else that's not in Europe. So they're all split up. The European teams will battle for those spots, and so will everyone else. There's a couple ones, though, that we absolutely have to point out. Algeria making their first World Cup since 2014. Cape Verde for the first time. We always love that, to be able to experience that for a country. It's amazing. It automatically becomes a must-watch game. Their first game, their opening round game, becomes a must-watch game over even teams like Portugal and England and Brazil and Germany, those bigger teams. When you have a team in for a first time, the way these guys will sing their anthem, the way the fans will be there, the way the fans will back them, it's an unmatched thing, to be honest with you. So shout out to them, but they're not the only first timers as well. Uzbekistan in for the first time, Jordan in for the first time, and also this one was, I think, yesterday or the day before. Curacao is in for the first time as well. I mean, like I said, to have one is amazing. For us to have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams qualifying for the first time, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I didn't want to just touch on that because as great as it is to qualify for the first time, to get back after a long time has such an extraordinary feeling. Norway, a talented Norway team that has Manchester City striker Erling Haaland qualifying for the first time since 1998. Austria, same thing, a talented team qualifying for the first time since 1998. Haiti, 1974, the last time Haiti made a World Cup. Welcome back, Haiti. A nation that has dealt with a lot of personal in turmoil in terms of disasters and things like that. So this lift that the country gets, and I know you might laugh and go, man, we're talking sports. No. There's a reason we force you to, if you watch all the way through the whole show, to absorb this part of the show, the football, the footy, the soccer, because it does mean stuff to this country's. You'll see, excuse me. You'll see crime rates. You'll see things like that drop during World Cup games. You'll see just people putting down guns in war-torn countries to watch World Cup games. It does actually mean that much to a lot of these people. So, yes, it's amazing that Haiti finally back in for the first time since 1974. But I saved the personal one for last. Scotland, in extra time wins to qualify for their first time since 1998. If you know anything about the history of this game and where it's rooted in places like Brazil, obviously. It's rooted in places like Argentina and in South America. It's rooted in places like Germany. And it's rooted in places like England. But right outside of there, in the Irelands, in the Scotlands, it's kind of forgotten how deep the football roots go there. So to see Scotland get in, this is a talented Scotland team. Scotty the Body McTominay, my guy from former Manchester United, now Napoli player, helped leading that team. Great to see them in. As I said, we're getting very, very close. 2026 is around the corner. So once we hit that first of the year, it is nothing but overdrive as we start to get ready. And last but not least, it was finally announced, I do believe yesterday, the USA will play their final send-off game before they travel in. Well, not travel technically, but their last send-off game before the World Cup against Germany. I like that because it's a German opponent that's good. They're going to be trying to ramp up and get ready for the World Cup the same as we are. So good to have quality opponents in there as well. So that'll wrap up the footy. Mama's headed back to work. Appreciate you as always, Mama, for checking in. But as well, so when the footy's over, usually means the show's over. So much abbreviated, and I think that was much needed after I would say probably 2 weeks or so straight of us kind of really running long on some shows. I mean, the college football has been great. The NFL has been storyful, regardless of whether the play's been up and down. And obviously, the footy dominates because me and my brother can't not talk about it. But I want to appreciate everybody for rocking in with me today. Solo dolo today. I tried to hold it down myself. I think I did an okay job. A couple of hit or miss spots in there. I appreciate you as always, Pops. Ray, as always, as well. I appreciate you, my guy. That's my brother right there. And my Pops. Everybody, I appreciate your likes, your shares, your comments, your stuff behind the scenes, whatever it might be. I appreciate every single one of you. That'll do it for me. Not for us. That'll do it for me. Big sports weekend. Tap in with it. Tap in with your loved ones. Make sure you get with your people and ride the vibe. Vibe out. That's what we're doing right now. We spreading the love and we're vibing out. Let's watch some sports. Let's have a good time. Shout out to my Cuyahoga Falls Rapids guys. I will be tapping in with you guys Saturday for the workout. I'm not going to promise whether or not I'm going to work out because I don't make those kind of promises anymore, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But nonetheless, that'll do it from here for me here on the Straub Bro Sports Show for my brother, Big Bro here, tapping out. We will see you Tuesday, both of us. We will see you Tuesday for our review. And please remember, as always, especially more important now as we come up to the holiday season, love yours.
Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town.